Hello everyone, this is Plankera, and welcome to my universe. Today, I'm going to continue rigging Shalom from Path to Nowhere. So yesterday, I was finishing up, this side of the head, in mostly the right turns, but I got most of the left turns done in the bottom turn, but I wasn't quite able to finish up the lower left, so I'm going to do that today. I was just giving the upper left one last good look over, but I think everything is pretty okay there. Yeah. I think it's good. So that means I can jump right in to the lower left here. So I felt like the lower left had a lot of problems, which is why at the end of yesterday, I just went and looked at something else. So, let's see, where do I even start here? That's always the question. It looks like I got most of the back of the head fairly okay. So I think I'm actually going to start with this strand here. It's not quite lining up the way that I like. Something about the way the highlight's moving is disagreeable to me. I think over here is pretty okay. There's a slight bit of crunchiness with the way this part is curving, so I'll probably touch that up a little bit, but mostly there's just something about this highlight right here that I find disagreeable. So let's see if I can find the answer there. I'm going to try just very gently pulling down a few of these vertices here. Make it just a little bit lower, just a little bit. Not gonna overdo it too much. Okay, and then I don't think I like the shape of the top part, because it's like if you look at the highlight here, it just swoops down nice and gently. But the way I have it here is there's a small bump right there, and I don't like it. I don't like it. So let's smooth that out a bit. I think I need to raise up the outer end as well. I feel like these triangles are getting really spinny. Hopefully it looks okay. But yeah, that shape looks a lot better. At least statically. Let's see how it looks in motion. Okay, I'm gonna have to do something about this, but otherwise, yeah, that's better. I approve. And I'm pretty okay with this part coming a little bit further down. I think it looks okay. Maybe not that much, but in general, I don't actually mind it very much when the highlights move around just a little bit. I think it actually makes the head turns look a little bit better than they would if they were just completely static. I think it just makes everything look a little bit more lively. And it makes sense that as her head turns, the light will be hitting her hair at a slightly different angle. So at least to me, it makes sense that they move around just a little bit. Okay, yeah, that seems fine. Okay, I think I still have to move that little highlight around a little bit. It's being pulled backwards to the side when her head turns, and I think that looks a little bit strange. See, this is why I said that when I looked at my lower left turn today, I was just like, oh boy. Because I knew there was going to be a lot of things to take a look at here. And a lot of things that were going to have to be fixed. It was having some trouble. That's why I needed to dig in pretty hard on this angle. And why I decided I wasn't quite up for it yesterday. Okay, it looks like here I'm gonna have to make some changes in order to get these things to line up right. Okay, so I'm gonna do the first little change here. Because basically there's just these little packets of red here and there. And they're squirming around a bit more than I would like. I didn't really notice it until I really wanted to dig into the lower left there. But indeed, it looks like it's happening on a lot of different angles. She just... yeah, up and down looks fine. Corners are surprisingly good at letting me see issues that I didn't see otherwise. Because like when I look at the right turn and the bottom turn here, this pink spot looks totally fine to me. But when I try to combine both of them into a lower left turn, it didn't work. It looked kind of bad. So it let me know that something was a bit off in both of those turns, even though they looked okay individually. And I think that's kind of interesting. Just goes to show that all the movement here is relative to every other piece. And that there is not necessarily a correct place to put things. Just an area that looks right against every other thing that is moving. Now making sure that the bottom of this highlight here is in the right spot, that everything is lining up nicely vertically. This has an entirely different issue. There's a vertex around the line that is clearly sliding down something fierce. I'm not sure which one it is. Okay, it might just be like all of them. After all, I do want her to be able to swing her head around safely. That's kind of an important thing to be able to do. So that this way, you know, when I decide to have some fun and play with the tracking, and you can see me swinging my head around here, I want all of that to be able to look good too. This way, from no matter where her head happens to be sitting, and where it happens to want to move to, or, you know, whoever is puppeting this model moves it to, it'll still look good. Okay, and as I swing her head back and forth here, I'm just noticing some minor issues on my lower right turn too, but they're pretty small. So I can just go in and fix them real quick and all will be well. Let me see, there's still a spot over here that I don't really like. I'm gonna go and consult the mesh for it. Something just not swinging quite right in that direction. Something just got really, I don't know, compressed together, I guess. So I actually want it to be something more like this. It's like everything over here needs to be a little bit compressed because I want the strand to look a little bit thinner on my right turns. So this way it looks like it's starting to recede into the background a little bit. That's the idea, at least. Okay, and then I know that this area is an area that I want to revisit one more time. Just because I haven't... I did up here, but not really down here. I only did a little bit down there when I was fixing up the upper right. But I do want to get that area on all my other turns. But I will do that a little bit later. For now, over here. Okay, but I think I fixed my problems with over there, so now I can safely go back to derping around over here. Really get everything looking nice. I think I want this light spot to be a little bit lower down. And I also don't quite like the angle on it, so I'm going to try to see if I can fix that up too. Kind of push this part a little bit forward. I don't really want the strand to be thicker through there, just that I want the center part to be a little bit more forward here. It makes sense considering how far out I have this line of vertices pulled out, that maybe these should have come a little further to the side too. I'm sure there was a reason that I had it like that, but you know, it's not working anymore, so that means it is time to change it. That's just how that kind of thing works. If I think I can do it a little bit better, then, you know, just change it. It's okay. I'm sure my past self will forgive me for the sake of a better model. I think I actually will lower it a bit here. I don't know. Didn't quite like how it was lining up this way. When it was lined up a little more evenly with the bottom turn here. So I'm just gonna lower that highlight just a tad and line it up with my lower left here. Okay. Do it a bit with both of them. If I'm gonna do it like that, let me make sure that I have this lined up properly with the left turn. Because when I last looked there, I wasn't quite happy with the angle of, like, this part here, going up into the back. There's a nice little dark area up there. Yeah, and this is still being pulled in. So I need to let this be a little thicker through there, and alter the angle of the back. All of these little things matter. So I gotta find the right combination here. Sometimes it takes a second. It just reminded me of why I didn't want to do the lower left yesterday, when I was kind of tired. Because I looked at it, I was like, oh man, there's a lot to do here. I'm gonna have to do so many things. Let's see how I feel about after doing the upper right. And indeed, after doing the upper right, I was quite tired. I still continue to be sad that I can't just do a lot of mentally intensive art things for like 12 hours straight. It's so sad. I want to do all the things, but oh man, my brain gets tired, and I just know that if I continue working in that state, everything I make is going to be terrible. And I'm just going to have to redo it anyway, so I might as well relax a bit or think about something else. Alas, cannot eliminate leisure time from my life. For better or worse. Admittedly, I've been thinking about this in regards to writing, and that one of the biggest pieces of advice that people give to aspiring writers is to read many things. And I do agree that that is helpful. Just go out, read many things, and think about what works, what doesn't, why you like certain things, why you don't. Look at what you're reading critically and all that. And now I'm wondering if the fact that our brain gets tired when doing a lot of mentally intensive creative work is actually useful in some way. To actually get us to appreciate what other people make too. Because man, if I didn't have to do that, I could see myself just sitting in a dark cave all day, every day, never engaging with anyone. Because I just feel like, heck yeah, gonna do the thing! Gonna make all the things and it's gonna be great! I'm not sure if there's any particular evolutionary benefit to that. But it is kind of funny to think about that it actually may serve a positive purpose, even if it's not exactly quote-unquote intentional. Because I do unironically think that it's important to appreciate what other people make too, even just beyond looking at what's done for your own benefit. And trying to get an understanding of what has worked and what doesn't, and trying to learn from other people's mistakes. Just, I don't know, seeing what other people make and engaging with it and having a good time. I think that's important too. It all is. Makes me wish I'd had better luck with creative communities in the past. Now I'm just terrified of joining them. I think that's one of those where I laugh so I don't cry. Okay, I think I finally got it. That curve right there was driving me absolutely bonkers. But now I think it looks pretty fantastic. Let's see if it looks good on the diagonal. Oh, good. I would have been so sad if it looked bad. But okay, I think I've gotten this strand the way that I want it now. And so I guess I'll go next step back, and we'll get this guy. All the way down to here, where it starts becoming the strand from hell, but hopefully I don't have to change that much down there, and I can just put my hands over my eyes and pretend I see nothing. Tell myself that going down that strand is for my future self. Something that I will do later. Someday that later will catch up to me, but, yeah, that's a problem for my future self. It's okay, I'm pretty sure she's got this. I don't actually think right here looks too bad. So, right now I'm gonna start up here, and then I'm gonna go check this highlight. And kind of the edge there. I think those are the areas that kind of define things the most. Oh, this is actually a little bit low. Okay. Someday it'll start moving. There it goes. Just had to complain. Sometimes when I'm moving things very gently, the program, I think it registers it. There's just some UI problems that are going under a major, or let me back up there. There's some UI problems, and that's one of them. And that's why the developer's doing a major UI overhaul for the next version. So she plans to fix a lot of these things. Okay, so the part that I'm looking at here is this shadow, and I'm just trying to make sure things line up vertically for the time being. That's why I'm going all the way to both ends. All the way from the lower left to the lower right, because I think that will give you the best perspective in where exactly these little shadows should go. I felt like they were a little bit too high in the lower right and a little bit too low in the lower left. So, had to adjust both of them a little bit, and now they should be lining up a lot better. Yeah. Still see that I got a little hole right there, though. So I should probably fill that in with something. What do I want to fill that in with? What can I fill that in with? Can I use you? Can I just do this and have that be okay? That entire area is already covered up by a different strand, so in theory, I think it covered up enough of it that you can't really even see it anymore. Yeah, you have to be squinting real hard to see that little hole. Do you guys see it? Do you see the hole? Do you see the tiny little hole when I move back and forth here? It's right there at the tip of my cursor. But yes, I think it's small enough that nobody is going to see that. Yes, I think this is okay. Okay. And while I'm over there, I also see that on this angle, it's not lining up vertically either. Needs to come up like that a little bit. That is the importance of just going back and forth all the way. Lets you notice so many more problems. It's very nice, very convenient. It's like, man, I thought I fixed all this already. But here we are. It's alright, I'll do it now. Missing spots happens. It happens. That's why it's important to really scrutinize your work at the end, or even just periodically. So this way, you can be like, huh, I missed a spot. How did that happen? Okay, now I'm bringing the hole over here. That's how I know that I'm doing it right. Pretty sure that is just a little hole there, yeah. Let's try to cover it up just a little bit here. So if I pull that down everywhere, then I should be able to minimize it and keep it super tiny to non-existent. I do wish I had more girth on some of these strands here. That is something I will have to keep in mind for future cutting. I might actually watch a proper hair cutting tutorial at some point. I mean, I have before, but not recently, and I feel like I've learned a lot just from rigging this model in the past couple of like practice ones that I did. Of course, my model. So this way I could have a face for the internet. Learned many things from it, so I could probably handle doing it all, looking through another one again. Get a good look at how to think about it all. Alright, so now I feel like I have the root part up here pretty good, so now I'm going to go down and work on the highlight. This highlight is very important. It offers a nice degree of separation between this shadow area and this strand that sits on top of it. So, very important that I get all the little pieces in the right place and everything is at the right angle. I talk about the angles a lot, but the angles are really important. They are very, very important indeed. I always remember as a baby artist, I would often hear more experienced artists talk about the angles, and I just didn't quite understand, but I understand now. can maybe be a little bit difficult to describe at sometimes, but it's there. Because it's like when I look at the original here, there's a very clear direction that this is going. Like you can see that there's the shadow here, goes through there, and then there's the highlight sitting on top of it. And it's... I don't know, what kind of angle is that? It's less than 45. That tends to be how I think about things in 45-degree increments. 45, I think, would be like this. So this is probably a little bit more than halfway between that and just straight down. So I'm trying to kind of replicate that here, just not quite 45, and this is still a little bit too sharp, I think. But if I can get that angle consistent, it'll look much nicer. This part's a bit weird because I can tell that parts of it where I feel like the angle is off is actually because of the layer sitting on top of it being a little bit off. So that's why I'm adjusting some things through here as well. I'm trying to be very, very careful about adjusting that though, since I did just spend a bunch of time trying to get that right. And it'd be a shame to adjust it and be like, huh, now it's totally wrong again. I hate my life. But no. No, this is fine so far. This is totally fine. I just gotta play it very carefully. Okay, yeah, it's getting close. It's just a little finicky, but that's okay. I will help it even if it throws a temper tantrum like this. Just whining about every little thing. I think of it like this. You know, there's some kids that are just really picky eaters, and there are some vertices that are just really picky about where they want to be. But they won't necessarily tell you what you want. Or they won't want to eat what's actually good for them. That's okay. I'm pretty sure there's some compromise that can be made here. Okay, I think this part's okay now. It might need a little bit more adjusting, but this part back here is just so far off that it's gonna be hard to tell until I fix that. So that is gonna be the next step here. So I'm gonna think really hard about how I want to change some of this. But I think after that little bout of intense staring, I got some ideas. So first things first, I want to flatten this just a little, make it just a tad straighter. And then I can come down into this mess. I can tell that I straightened a lot of things up here, but didn't get down this far. I must have looked at this and been like, man, that is just so much stuff. Let's go do the upper right first, or upper left first. That sounds like something I'd do. There is just so much squirming in this area. I think I'm gonna line it up at the bottom first. Just because that'll help me get this part vertically, and you can see that, man, it's all just being pulled upward. So I think it makes sense to work at the bottom here. Work on my relative to the bottom turn. Because it'll give me some idea of where all this should be. Like, everything's still being pulled upward? Yeah, like, everything, man. Okay, so that tells me it's brush time. I'm gonna get a big old brush and just pull all of this downward. That was a lot of movement, so hopefully I don't regret my life choices. But nope, that was fantastic. I pulled the bottom a little bit too far, but everything else, yep, that is exactly what this area needed. Wonderful. So now I can just gently get the remnants back into place, and hopefully all will be well. Okay, yeah, now I can focus on getting the shape of this interior area correct. And that will require some help from the left turn as well. I'm gonna start with the lining it up with the bottom turn as I've been doing. But once that is looking relatively okay, then I will move to lining it up with the left turn. So here, once again, I'm focused on this little dark area that runs through here. There's this kind of red area, then there's this light area, and then there's a shadow that runs directly between them. And that is the part that I'm trying to line up. It's not an especially complex shape, but I gotta stare at it well enough in order to understand it, so it just takes a second. But it's pretty much there. Some of the stuff that I'm looking at now is just me being unsatisfied with certain parts of how the line surrounding it all is moving. Alright, let's see how this looks against this now. coming out just a little bit at the bottom, but right here I think is all okay. So it's just right there. Easy enough. It's nice that they decided to just line up nicely for me. Makes my life a lot easier. There weren't a lot of shenanigans I had to pull like I did for, like, right through there. Okay, yeah, I think that part's good now, so I'm just gonna keep moving down. So now I'm getting into just right over here. I don't actually think this area looked that bad. There were definitely some parts that needed fixing. Oh man, and I think over here needs fixing too. Oh no. Okay, I guess that means it's time to think about Strand from Hell as well. Okay, so this is where I think I hide this guy a little bit. And work on getting some of that straightened out. Okay, it's not that bad. It's not that bad. My brain's just there like, wait, why is all this wrong? I thought I already did this. But no, I did that for a different angle. I don't think I did this for this angle. So I was minorly concerned for a moment. But I think it was just my brain overreacting a bit and just being like, no, not the Strand from Hell, make it stop! Not again, I thought it was free. And I'm just always like, silly brain, you know you're never free. We'll never be free from here. And there's like a weird compression going on there. That is a job for consulting the mesh. Oh, and it's easy. Hooray! There might be a couple more, but that one was definitely sticking out. I'm just going to take a second to kind of clean up all the compression that I was seeing in that area. It wasn't too bad, so I think I've already gotten most of it, but there's still just a couple of spots. Unfortunately, it's in the place with all the weird textures that I do not comprehend, and that I always find really difficult to move around. So I can only hope that this area has mercy on me today. Come on, little area. I'm just trying to help here. Doing my best for you. I say this, but alas, it does not always respond to me. But no, I think it's going okay. Yeah, it's going okay. Okay, yeah, I think that's pretty good now. So now I can turn this strand back on and finally finish off this last part. And I continue to look at this and be glad that I did not attempt to do it yesterday. I am glad I trusted myself and did not push myself a little bit too hard. Whoa there. Because there was a lot to do. Like, a lot. That was a lot of stuff to figure out and really push into place here. But it's okay, I think once this is done, that's considerable progress. Because I think the only thing that I still want to check in the main part of the hair is just over here. The lower part of this area by the ears. I might check the ears too, because I don't like the ears in my lower turns. I think they're a case of I had a vision and it didn't quite pan out, so I really ought to fix them at some point too. Maybe I'll do it today. The rest of the face I don't want to do until later. There are a couple of things on it that I do plan to change. But I think I want to finish most of the hair before I do that. And honestly, most of the places that I have problems with are in my upper turns anyway. I think the lower ones are looking good. I really do like her expression on the lower turns. It makes me so happy. Just looking at it. She looks so ominous and it's incredible. Okay, but I think this strand is almost there. I feel like the vertices just got pulled around a lot here somehow when I was moving things around. So, just a matter of putting them back. Just a matter of putting him back. Yeah, okay. This is a job for consulting the mesh. There's a spot right through here that I've been poking at, but I just can't get it to cooperate with me. Okay. But I think I see and understand now. I was getting some contradictory information because there were two vertices, one inner and one outer, that needed to be moved around. So hopefully with that, it will cooperate now. Yeah, that's a bit better. Now I can actually finish shaping it. See, the mesh is just so smart, always full of good ideas. Yeah. Just need to listen to it a bit more. Oh man. But that one is so much slower. I am doing quite well. Hello. I hope you're doing well too, Pip. How are you doing? Yeah, life is pretty good. I'm... Well, you know, just finishing things. It's coming. Very nice. It's nice to have a break sometimes. Aw. Glad to hear it. I'm glad that they're nice to work to. Have you gotten to make anything cool lately? Oh. Very nice. Yeah, do you have it posted anywhere? So I can go... Always happy to go take a look. Oh, I see. Oh yeah, that sounds pretty cool. Space is pretty. I really like it. I see. Okay, that's fair. Well, good luck. And yeah, I gotta say, just anything about space is always leans to neat inspiration. Even just besides the visual parts of it, it's pretty wild. Just everything that goes on out there that we just never see. Weren't even aware of until relatively recently. I know, right? And it's always funny to think about that, considering that nebulas really are just, I don't know, big pockets of gas out in space. But they're so pretty. They do many nice things. Yeah. It is. I've been reading a bunch about superseded scientific theories for reasons, and one of the things that came up was that many early peoples thought that the universe was just a static thing that never changed, and then the first supernova was observed, and it freaked people out. It was funny. Yeah, all those, there's a lot of nice galleries for that out the internet. Even just scrolling through NASA could be fun. Yep, indeed. There's still a lot out there that we don't know. I'm always curious to see what's going to happen in the next 10 years. I don't keep up with this stuff as much as I would like to, but, you know, maybe someday I will again. Where does this... No matter where I put this, it looks bad. What do I do? Yeah, it doesn't really matter what people believe. The universe is gonna do what the universe does. Alright, have fun. And have fun painting space. Thank you. So far it's going pretty well. I might actually finish, like, the main bulk of the hair today. And then tomorrow I can start getting back into some of the strands. Perfect those, and, you know, maybe the next... couple of weeks. I don't know, I'm always bad at estimating time here. But maybe I will actually finish my head turns and I can go do some other stuff. This hair, man, it just took forever. It was hard. There's just so much of it. And it's so detailed. And every time I think I get something right, I'm just like, wait, I missed this small detail out in the corner here. Send help. I do got this. I am not the least bit worried, but man. There's just a lot to it. And I can also tell that whenever I look at this game's art, that this artist just really likes drawing hair. So I just feel like it'd be a shame to not really dig into the hair and make sure that I get it really good. Okay, it might be about mesh consulting time again. There's just a couple little areas right through here that just don't want to line up properly. Yeah, let's go see what the mesh has to say here. Alright, where is this line of vertices supposed to go, man? Tell me your secrets, mesh. Oh, no wonder I can't figure it out. What the heck is this? Okay. Okay, well, that explains a lot. So I guess I'll just line it up like this for a little while. And see where that goes. This is the power of the mesh. Just letting me very quickly and easily figure out where some of these things should live. Only works sometimes, though. The mesh is very smart and knows exactly what's going on. So sometimes I can just go in and see what it has to say. Okay, let's see if I can figure out this bottom part, because this bottom part has not wanted to cooperate with me here either. So many things have not wanted to cooperate with me down here. This part of the lower left turn was honestly pretty hard today. But it's okay, I think I should be able to finish it, and the last little bit of the main bulk of her hair today, and that should be plenty. Okay, this isn't right, but I want to look at the higher parts before I dig into the lower parts again. Yeah, there's still a little spot right there. It's not quite lining up right. Okay. Back to consulting the mesh, I think. And I'll go for that little spot that's not lining up right. Let me see, which part was it? I want to make sure that I am poking at the right spot. Like right there. Yeah, I kind of figured that it was from this line where it kind of transitions from a 3-road mesh to a 2-road mesh. I always have a little bit of trouble moving that spot. Okay, now that I look at it again, I think that I'm showing a little bit too much of the light area here. So I'm gonna go slide this just a little further back. I don't really want to move the outer part too much, so pull the vertices on the edge out a little bit more. Kind of keep the same general shape, just with the center a little bit further in. Yeah, that should be fine. Okay, now I just need to figure out the bottom. Good luck to me. That area has not wanted to cooperate today. But here we go. Here goes nothing. I just need to stare very intensely and really listen to the mesh here. I think the mesh knows exactly what to do, so I just have to follow it. Not a lot has to change here, so I can just try to make it look about the same as it does on this left turn. If only I could do partial copies. I totally would here. But alas, if I wanted to copy the mesh from one angle, I'd have to copy the entire thing, and I definitely don't want to mess with the upper parts. So all I can do is stare and try to copy it as best I can. Unfortunately, it's always a little bit finicky, so here we are. That's okay, I think it's getting there. It's already looking a lot less crunchy, so that tells me that I'm doing something right. So that kind of crunchiness and distortion is often a sign of something just not being in the right place. But as there's less and less, that tells me more and more things are in the right place. Okay, how's this? Is it good? I think it is. Alright, everything lines up pretty well, so I'm gonna call that good. Alright, so that's that area, all turns done. So now I want to look into this area just a little bit more here. Yeah, there wasn't a lot I wanted to fix here, but there was a little bit. And I see a couple of things I want to adjust on that tiny little strand that sticks out here. It's just a little guy, but, you know, it deserves all the attention that everything else gets too. And right now I think it's just a tad thick, so go squish the vertices a little bit closer together and thin it out just a bit. And then do something similar down here. The angle of it is not quite lining up with my upper turns there. So just kind of want to pull the whole thing over just a little bit. Then straighten out the vertices here. And that, I think, should light it up just fine. It's still kind of sticking out a bit. Alright, I'm gonna slide it just a bit further back then. Want a small brush for this one. Because it's really only like right there that needs to be pulled a little further to the left. Yeah, that seems okay. Let's see, is there anything else in this area that I want to fix up? I remember seeing something when I was working over here. But now I don't really see it anymore. Okay, no, I see it now. Just needed to go slide it across the bottom. Try to recreate what made me see the problem in the first place. So, alright, let's slide some of these up, because there's a little dark area that sits right underneath the bit of hair that sits on top of it. And that was getting a little bit thicker than it should. Or perhaps a little bit taller is a better way to put it. So I'll go ahead and slide all those vertices up. And trying to light it up with the bottom turn here. Actually, maybe what I need to do, instead of pushing them further up, I need to, like, pull them out here. Just so that they're not visible anymore. I think that'll have a similar effect. And I'll worry about cleaning up the distortion in that area right after I fix this part. No, there's still something wrong there. Let's see what the mesh has to say. Okay. I think I understand. Okay, that's much better. So now I can go back to cleaning up that area that I just totally messed up. It's okay, it was for a good cause. Okay, and I think I have to do something similar on the other right turns as well. Just hopefully with less messing everything up. This way I have less to fix. It's always nice when I can kind of keep things that way. Just less things to fix. That is not working. Okay. Fortunately, the part that I was trying to correct worked, but the part that I totally messed up trying to fix it, that's gonna need a little bit more help. It's too bad. It looks pretty good with the bottom turn there, but it's just not working at all with my right turn. That's okay. I think I know what I can do to fix that. So hopefully I can get the best of both worlds. Something that looks really nice with that bottom turn and looks really nice with that right turn. Power of corners. Although I guess before I go too far, let me make sure that I like my bottom turn. Like the bottom turn, don't really like the upward turn. Okay, good to know. Left turn seems good too. So I want to take one more look at that upward turn before I do my upward corners. But I think my bottom turns are good, so I'll go ahead and do both those corners while I'm here. And I'm just kind of thinking about it. Okay, I think that's pretty good. So now let's go all the way across. Go back and forth a little bit. Make sure that I still like everything. Okay, I think I can do a little bit more with this lower right then. It looked good when I just went for the center or the right turns there and checked things there, but when I go all the way across, there's a couple of things that I don't think look very good, but I think I know how to fix it. Okay, that is much better. Most excellent. Alright, so let's make sure that I like everything in this corner. I actually think this area is looking pretty good. Cool. Alright, let's fix what I don't like in my upward turn. It's not too bad. There's just a couple of things that I think could be a little bit better. And once I have those, then I can go double check my upper corners, and that'll probably be the last thing that I do for today. But this area is going so much better than everything else that I was doing today, so I think I can handle finishing it up. As man, that lower left corner there, I did not know what was going on. There was a lot to fix on that outer edge of her head there. So I'm glad that I did it. Everything should be much better now. There's a surprising number of just little tiny lights here. And trying to line them all up is always an adventure. This area is a little bit closer to her face, so I kind of want to get all these little spots lined up pretty well, so this way there's not a lot of squirming near her eyes. If it's near the face, it's If there's something wrong, it's much more likely to be noticed. Nature of the human mind. It notices these things, and it's very rude. Alright, what's going on here, Mesh? Why can't I get this lined up the way that I want it to be? Okay. That's a pretty solid reason. I see that all of these vertices have been just like pulled so far down that I don't even know if they know where they are anymore. This is why mesh consulting is a good idea whenever I get stuck. It always has some good ideas. I don't always know how to use them, but it certainly does its best to try to tell me. Okay, and that little strand that sits on top of this whole area, I think the way it gets stretched out like that is maybe a little bit cute, but I don't think it looks good. So, I'm gonna try to curl it back over a little bit more correctly. Yeah, that seems much better. Okay, and how are my upper turns here? Actually, the corners look pretty good. Yeah, I guess I can do a little bit of adjustment here. I'll line it up just a tad better with my left turn, and then I think that'll be the last thing. That'll be the main bulk of her hair done. And tomorrow I can go into these little swooping strands that come off of her side hair. Alright, yep, I think that's looking pretty good. And indeed, I see a lot less squirming when I just roll her head around like this. Ah, it's fantastic. Look at her go. Yeah, I think the turns just look even more convincing than they did before. So yes, next time, side hair. Side hair, and then after that, probably this area over here, and this area over here. The areas kind of further away from her face. And I think I still will take care of the hair going over her shoulder when I do body turns. Probably do them at like about the same time. But for today, I think this is where I will stop. So, thank you all for coming, and I hope you're able to make something wonderful today. I'll see you all tomorrow.